Hey everyone, and welcome, my mystic friends. I'm excited to share with you the July 2025 astrology forecast for all 12 signs. I'm your astrologer, Patricia Tate. I specialize in traditional Western and evolutionary astrology. If you are new here, you can find more about my offerings at willowgracemystic.com. Thank you for liking and subscribing and for sharing your journey with me. I am so glad that you are all here. I know that if you have watched my July 2025 overview, you've seen how powerful this month is with the major shifts in energy, the opportunities for healing, and this forward momentum. That video lists every single transit that will walk you through the rest of this month. In this video, I'm going to guide you into what the stars and the planets have in store for you, breaking it down by the key transits and what they mean. This is where the astrology, it gets personal. So whether you're navigating change or you're seeking clarity or you're ready to step into something new, the universe is speaking, and I'm here to help you understand what is the message. As always, thank you for liking and subscribing. And so let's dive in and see what July has in store for you. So for my Aries friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I want to start off with July 7th. You are going to have Uranus now move into your third house of communication. It begins its 7-year journey through your house of communication, learning, your mindset, your local environment, neighbors, siblings, cousins. This is a major shift in how you think, how you speak, how you write, how you share your ideas. It's the house of where you take in information and then you disseminate it and share it with others. And this could also be with technology, like think AI or computers or phone, email, or text. You might be drawn to innovative forms of communication or expression. So think about podcasting or AI or writing or blogging or tech-based like learning platforms. There can be major breakthroughs in your communication style or within your own intellectual like curiosity and your relationships with your neighbors, your siblings, people that are within your close community. This is really a chance for you to become more flexible within your thinking and unafraid to be unapologetically yourself, for you to speak your truth. Now, the challenges that can come up with this are definitely a disruption within your daily routines and mental overstimulation. This is like a lot of information coming at the same time, or unexpected changes within relationships that happen close to your home. You might feel pulled in too many different directions or look to wrestle with distractions and kind of like nervous energy. Watch for sharp words, impulsive messages, or just technology overload. I'm encouraging you during this transit to embrace adaptability while developing these grounding rituals for your mental and your nervous system health, because this is a lot of information coming in and finding fact or fiction, like what is real and what is not. Look to stay curious, because Uranus, it rewards us having an open mind. Begin looking at new learning paths that excite and challenge you. Keep a journal, because you're going to have these flashes of insight that come suddenly, and they want a form of expression. As we move towards the 10th, on July 10th, we're then going to have this full moon. Full moons, remember, they're endings, closures, culminations. And so this one is going to be in the sign of Capricorn. So it's at the top of your chart. And the sun is at the bottom of your chart, which represents your home, your family, your stability. And so the top of your chart represents your career, your legacy, your reputation, your public image, your long-term goals. It opposes the sun in Cancer, bringing this desire for home and work balancing act to the surface to have to be visited. Now, the opportunity comes from a culmination or an ending that has something to do with your professional life. This could be a promotion or a recognition Or it can be the realization that it's time for you to change direction, like leave a job or retire from a job or quit volunteering with where you're at. Remember that this is reputation and legacy. You might gain this clarity on what success means for you and what you're no longer willing to sacrifice in order to get it. There can be these emotional insights that come from home or family that help show you the way or guide you to your next move that you want to push forward with professionally. The challenge comes from the pressure between your career demands and your personal at-home responsibilities. There can be this emotional weight or burnout from trying to just do it all. And there can be this inner voice that's asking you, is your current path aligned with your deeper values? I'm encouraging you to pause and to reflect on what needs to be rebalanced between your personal and your professional life. Honor your accomplishments, but don't cling to the titles or the structures that just no longer support your growth. Let go of any outdated ambitions that do not resonate with your evolving purpose. As we move towards the 18th, we're looking to now have Mercury stationing retrograde. So Mercury, the planet of communication, travel, technology, Mercury is going to start his backward travel through your Leo house. And so for you, this is the house of self-expression, it's creativity, it's romance, joy, children, your inner child or children. It's the house of what do I want to birth, literally or figuratively. And so take this as an opportunity to rework creative projects or reconnect with a past passion or rekindle a romantic flame, and look to have this a more honest approach to things. Reflect on how do you express yourself to others. Do your words and your ideas, do they line up and do they match your heart's truth? During this retrograde, you're going to have a chance to review what truly brings you joy and whether you're making time for it. The challenge here comes from miscommunications within dating or within having creative blocks or delays with children, your own inner child, or artistic pursuits. There can be old wounds that around being seen or heard or like appreciation, like are you feeling appreciated, that literally will resurface in order to be dealt with. There's a risk of ego flare-ups or drama or misunderstandings in topics of your heart. I'm encouraging you to know that you don't have to rush to finish. You can revise, you can refine, you can reflect at this time instead. Be patient with your own inner artist, your own inner child. Give them permission to explore without pressure. Avoid launching anything new until after this retrograde ends, but do use this time as an opportunity to revisit and repair. And then on July 24th, I want you to notice that we still have Mercury retrograde and we have the sun and the moon in a conjunction together. And so when the sun and moon are here, they are opposing Pluto here. An opposition is just exactly that. One opposes the other. So you have this wanting to start something new, clean slate, new beginning, and Mercury is retrograde, rethinking about it, and it's opposite of Pluto, but it's also in a harmonious aspect with Saturn and Neptune. And so what this means is that you're going to have this beautiful fresh cycle with your creative center, your creative self. It's activating these major aspects, and it's opposing Pluto in your house of community. It's hopes, wishes, dreams, goals, and who do you collaborate? And so it's trining Saturn and Neptune in your house of self and identity and spirituality and what do you want to launch? What do you want to do? The opportunities that can come during this new moon is you planting a seed for a bold new creative project. It's planting the seeds, but remember, Mercury's retrograde. Let's think about this. Let's rework it. Let's tap into how can I make this grow. There could be a new romantic chapter, or a renewed sense of play, or a self-celebration. There's this chance to align with something that truly lights up you from the inside, your own inner fire, your own inner child, not things that others expect from you. The trines to Saturn and Neptune here, they're encouraging you to build this creative and spiritual vision that with both structure and with soul. It's deepening your healing and your spiritual insight that can infuse your expression of what you're wanting to create with new meaning. Now, the challenge comes from power struggles. That's what Pluto does. Pluto opposes, and it's magnetic. It either pulls in or it repels. And so there can be power struggles with ego clashes within social groups or networks or collaborations or these online spaces. There can be fear of being judged or misunderstood or just not accepted for who you truly are, or having this internal pressure to live up to other people's standards. Look to this new moon to create from the inside out. Let joy be your compass, not external validation. Make space for inspiration by spending some quiet time alone or in meditation. If something feels controlling or toxic in your social sphere, know that this is your signal to set the boundaries that protect your energy and your light. And so, Aries, a mantra for you can be, I speak with clarity, I create with courage, and I trust the spark that is within me to guide me into the next chapter. So, Aries, thank you so much for being here. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. To those of you who have subscribed and continue to support my channel, thank you so much, because it is your energy that fuels my journey. If you're looking for more of an in-depth understanding of the transits, visit willowgracemystic.com. So for my Taurus friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I want to start with July 7th. You have Uranus now entering into the sign of Gemini. Remember that Uranus is the planet of awakening and disruption, and it's chaos. And it's beginning its 7-year transit through your second house of money, love, values, your possessions, and your self-worth. And so the opportunities that can come from this is a beautiful, groundbreaking new cycle in the way that you earn money, the way that you spend, the way that you value money and value yourself. You might be drawn to unconventional income streams that could include technology or communication or freelance or media work or alternative like economies. So think crypto or digital services or like AI tools. I am really encouraging you to allow this to help you to break free from your inherited beliefs around scarcity and or possibly security of what does security mean to me. This is really a liberating time to redefine your own personal worth in ways that are not tied to any external validation or traditional financial models. There can be financial instability with this transit, so I would look at unexpected shifts within income that may create some short-term stress for you. There can be attachment to material or comfort or fixed routines that can now be tested. These are some of the challenges that come with this, especially if you are resisting the need or the desire to change. Your self-worth can go through these periods of or fluctuation or crisis as old stories that either you tell yourself or others have told you are disrupted. I'm encouraging you to look to build this flexibility into your own personal financial plans. Stay open to experimenting while keeping one foot solid on the ground. Begin by reassessing what truly holds value for you in your life. Some things may be worth far more than their price tag. Practice affirming your worth based on your own inner truth, not society's norms or productivity. I want to look at then the 10th. So on July 10th, we're now going to have this beautiful full moon. Full moons, remember, are always about closures, culminations, endings. It finishes a cycle of something that was started 6 months ago. So this full moon is illuminating your house of travel and education, your belief system. So think visas and passports and your long-range vision. It's cross-cultural experiences. It does oppose the sun in Cancer, in your third house of communication, your daily mindset. And so this opposition brings about this turning point or within your worldview. Perhaps there's a ending or a graduation or a culmination with something that has to do with studying or learning or a teaching path. This is the house of not only where you can be a student, but the student becomes a teacher. This could also be an ending with a spiritual belief and opening up your mindset into something that's new, or an international endeavor, like I want to travel here, I want to connect with these people. You could receive news related to publishing or legal matters or immigration or something that has to do with academic pursuits. This full moon, it can really spark this desire to have a deeper meaning and an expansion that really pushes you to trust in, like, what is the bigger picture. The challenge comes from the tension between what is the bigger picture and your day-to-day concerns that now come up. There can be doubts about your path that you're heading on, or a spiritual direction that makes you question some things. There can be emotional overwhelm because full moons, they're felt internally. And so if you have been avoiding the truth, you now might be able to look at it and face it in a different light. Use this moon to reflect on what do you believe, look at whether does it still align with your values. Let go of any of these limiting narratives around success or education or spiritual shouldas, like shoulda, coulda, wouldas. If you are ready for something more meaningful, trust that the next step is now going to be revealed. As we look to July 18th, we now have Mercury stationing retrograde in the sign of Leo. Remember that Mercury is the planet of communication, travel, and technology, and it's squarely sitting at the bottom of your chart. Mercury stations retrograde here, and the themes will be family, home, roots. This could have to do with grandparents or literally your home, like taking care of your home. So this will be a time to revisit repairs. This could have to do with family dynamics and your communication with those family members, or looking back and revising or reviewing childhood patterns or emotional beliefs or things that you have brought from the past into the present that have shaped you. This is a perfect time for you to reconnect with relatives, like jump into that ancestry DNA, or review real estate decisions, or totally declutter your home, or to do some work around your home. Like this could be a move, this could be cleaning out the closets or remodeling of your home. You might also rediscover, that's that Mercury retrograde, forgotten memories or family history by connecting with those people, or emotional truths that deepen your own sense of belonging during this transit. The challenges that come with this are miscommunication or technology breakdowns, something that has to do with home, or confusing messages that come from family members, or delays that are related to moving or home projects. There can be this emotional pullback or withdrawal, or the temptation to regress into old coping strategies. Look to create this space for yourself to schedule in rest and do the inner work. Journal, revisit old photo albums, or speak with your family members, the parents, the grandparents. Look for this invaluable insight that's buried within your own roots or traditions. Avoid these major home projects that like starting something. This is a time that you'll want to go in and like, how do I work through this? And moves, like I'm in the process of moving, or I'm in the process of remodeling. This is about reviewing your foundation and preparing to realign with it. As we move towards July 24th, I want you to notice that we're now going to have this new moon. Now, new moons, they always bring fresh starts, clean slates, new beginnings. Remember that you do have Mercury retrograde here. So it's a new moon at the bottom of your chart, still focused on those themes, but it's ready to start something new. This new moon is going to oppose Pluto at the top, and it will also be in a harmonious aspect with Neptune and Saturn. And so this is a lot going on with starting something new. It's activating the desire to plant seeds that are related to family, emotional security, traditions. The focus with the opposition to Pluto in your house of career and trining with Saturn and Neptune of what are your goals? What are your social supports? Who are your connections? Going within, having to tap into, like stopping the outside clutter to tap into what is Spirit telling me that I need to do. The opportunities of this is a beautiful new chapter with emotional or your home or domestic life can now begin. It's a fresh start. It's a clean slate. You might feel ready to create a home sanctuary or to deepen your family connections, like make a commitment to family members, or to move towards emotional healing. Saturn and Neptune support, it's giving you the tools to dream and to have a more aligned support system. Remember, Saturn has the rings around it, and it gives you the structure to move forward with what you want to do, with your hopes, your wishes, your dreams of clearing out karma. It's in the house, it's in your 12th house of being alone and releasing of those fears, that broken record. With Pluto opposing your sun, this is going to be a chance for you to let go and release the toxic authority patterns, or it can be around career burdens that are literally draining your home life, your private life. Now, the challenges that can come with this transit can be internal pressure between what your home needs and your professional expectations. Remember, this is a push-pull kind of time where the sun, you oppose something that has to do with home. You could feel torn between nurturing your own private life, your private self, and performing for the world and needing that inner rest, that inner sanctuary. There can be power struggles at home with parental figures that can resurface because Mercury retrograde is here. Look to begin to truly rebuild your foundation by aligning with your own inner truth, with your outer goals. Ask, what does home really mean to you now? And how do you create it consciously? Set these intentions around feeling safe, feeling supported, and feeling empowered within your own private life, even if it means shedding and releasing and letting go of old roles. Taurus, a mantra for you can be, I ground myself in truth and I release what no longer nourishes me. I'm building a new foundation that's rooted in self-worth and my soul's alignment. So, Taurus, thank you so much for being here. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. To those of you who have subscribed and continue to support my channel, thank you so much because it is your energy that fuels my journey. If you're looking for more of an in-depth understanding of the transits, visit willowgracemystic.com. So for my Gemini friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising, buckle up because on July 7th, you're going to have the planet of Uranus now enter into your first house of self. This is about awakening and revolution and your identity, your self-image, how you meet the world. This is going to be the first time that it's happened in 84 years. This is one of the most defining transits that you will have of your life. Remember that the first house, I always say, is like your business card. It's your website. It's who you are presenting to the world to see. And so the opportunities that can come with this transit are personal reinvention of who you are, top to bottom, mind, body, soul. You are being called to radically shift how do you express yourself, your personality, your style, your role in the world. Expect these flashes of insight and these bold awakenings and a craving for greater authenticity and to have more independence. You might adopt a new appearance or discover new passions or take risks that align with a more liberated version of who you are. There's a strong potential for you to become the voice of change, of innovation and forward-thinking ideas. Now, the challenges that can come with this transit are sudden changes for your path, your confidence, your health. It can feel like destabilizing at first. You might wrestle with restlessness or identity crisis or difficulty in fitting into your old roles, your old routines, or people in your life. They might resist the new you, especially if you have outgrown those old patterns. I'm encouraging you to don't fear the reinvention. The more that you align with your inner truth, the more the universe is going to support your evolution. Make space for these changes in your life now, even if it feels uncertain at first. Journal your breakthroughs. Embrace this freedom and trust that this is your time to awaken to your potential. I am super excited about you for this transit. Now, as we move towards July 10th, we're now going to have a full moon in the sign of Capricorn. So remember that full moons, they always bring about endings and closures and culminations. And so this one is no different. And so this full moon is illuminating your house of transformation, adding to the themes of the Uranus moving into your first house. This is the house of intimacy. It's the house of shared resources. It's the house of your emotional depth. It opposes having the sun in Cancer. The sun is in your second house of your self-worth, your cash, your property, your resources, your finances. Now for you, the opportunities are a powerful emotional or a financial chapter that now reaches its peak, its culmination. You might complete a healing cycle or a journey. You might finalize a financial arrangement or gain deeper clarity on what you're truly ready to release. This full moon, it supports you in how you are transforming your fears, your patterns, and how they're tied to vulnerability or control or scarcity. You might feel empowered to trust others intimately again, or to fully reclaim your own personal power after letting go of like toxic attachments to other people. The challenges that can come from this is old fears around loss, trust, dependency. These things come back up for us to look at and to resolve these issues. There can be emotional intensity or jealousy or financial tension with others that requires confrontation or a form of release and let go. You might be asked to let go of something that once felt essential, but now it's blocking your growth. Look to prioritize with emotional honesty during this transit, especially with yourself. Review what energetic or financial entanglements or connections that you are ready to clear. This is going to be a moment of deep transformation, so don't resist it. Allow it to free you. Now, as we move towards July 18th, we're going to have Mercury station retrograde. This is so powerful for you because Mercury is your chart ruler, and it governs over not only who you are, but your home, your family, your foundation. And so Mercury is going to be retrograding through your third house of communication and learning and travel and siblings and your mental processes. It's how you take in information and how you share it with others. It's also technology like email, phone, text. And so it's going to be retrograde until August 11th. And so the opportunities, I look at it as a chance for you to slow down, a chance for you to revisit how do you express yourself, especially in writing and speaking and learning as you're dealing with Uranus in your first house and that full moon you've just had. This is an opportunity for you to reconnect with a sibling or a neighbor, or to revisit any unfinished creative or educational projects. This has to do with things that are happening closer to home with you. This is an excellent time for journaling or reviewing contracts or rethinking how do you structure your own daily mindset. Now, the challenges, they come with miscommunications, travel delays, tech glitches. These are here to test your patience. Your thoughts can feel scattered or overly introspective. So be cautious with gossip or misunderstandings at this time. You might struggle with a lot of mental overload if you don't allow time for stillness, for the pause. I'm encouraging you to speak with care and intention, not only to others, but to yourself. Triple check your emails, your plans, your transportation details. Reflect rather than react when working with others. Use this time to truly think deeply, but not impulsively. Reconnect with what fascinates you and lights you up. Your mind craves meaningful stimulation. Then I want to bring you towards July 24th. So on July 24th, you're now going to have this beautiful new moon. New moons are fresh starts, clean slates, new beginnings. And so in the same house as where Mercury, your chart ruler, is retrograde. This new moon will oppose Pluto, and so it will also be in a harmonious aspect with Neptune and Saturn. This is a lot going on all at the same time. There's a lot of planetary influence going on for this potent new moon to initiate a brand new, fresh cycle that helps you to reset your mind, your mindset, the way you communicate, your communication style, your local connections. At the same time, with the sun, it's forming these dynamic aspects with this opposition to Pluto in the area of your life that has to do with your thoughts, your beliefs, with travel, with legal matters, your long distance vision, and it's trining Saturn and Neptune. This has to do with your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your goals. It's adding to the story, to the flavor of what do you want to plant seeds with or about. So this could be starting a new writing project or a course of study, like a class or a workshop or communication endeavor. You might feel the urge to teach or to speak or to share your ideas more boldly. This is going to be a beautiful time to reset your voice, to claim your truth, especially if you've been silencing yourself or if you've been playing small. With Saturn and Neptune supporting your goals and your networks and the people that you share this space with, there can be these new ideas or new collaborations that can shape your path moving forward in a meaningful and inspired way. Now, the challenges that can come from this new moon is the opposition to Pluto. Pluto brings this internal tension about whether your ideas and beliefs, are they truly your own, or are they inherited from authority figures or past dogma? There can be power struggles because that's what Pluto does. Pluto is magnetic. It pulls in or repels with teachers or mentors or authority figures or belief systems that they can now come up. You might feel this pressure to prove your intelligence or your intellect or to make this really big splash or this impact, which could block your own natural voice. I'm encouraging you to let your words be both powerful and real and authentic. Speak from experience, not just theory. Begin new coursework, intellectual or creative ventures that feel aligned with your long-term purposes. Challenge these outdated beliefs and welcome the inspiration that helps you to reshape your path that you're moving forward with confidence. Gemini, a mantra for you can be, I embrace my evolution of my identity. I speak my truth with clarity, and I trust my voice to lead me forward. So Gemini, thank you so much for being here. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. If you're looking for more of an in-depth understanding of the transits, visit willowgracemystic.com. So for my Cancer friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I want to start off with July 7th. You are going to have Uranus now move into the house of internal. Uranus is the planet of awakening and freedom and liberation and innovation. It's entering into your dreams, your subconscious. It's about healing and solitude and spirituality. It's now launching this 7-year cycle of deep inner transformation for you. The opportunities that can come from this is you entering into this period of a spiritual awakening, your intuitive development. So expect your dreams, your inner revelations, or these magical, mystical experiences that rewire how you relate to the unseen realms. This is going to be a powerful time for you to break free from your subconscious fears or old karmic patterns, like break the record. Like I always say that it's the broken record, or break the cycle that has quietly held you back. You might be drawn to alternative healing or possibly to dream work or intuitive studies like astrology or energy work or shadow integration. Now, the challenges that come from this transit, they can be subtle at first, but extremely profound. Expect periods of solitude or emotional release or even psychic overwhelm if you resist slowing down. You might wrestle with anxiety or sleep disruption or sudden emotional breakthroughs as like buried truths, they surface. This is like an aha moment, or I get it, or everything just starts to make sense. There can be old unconscious behaviors or self-sabotaging tendencies that might demand the release because now is the time to let them go. Look to create space for silence and for reflection and for your own intuitive development. Your soul is speaking louder now, so it's time to listen. Track your dreams, journal your insights. They can hold the surprising answers. Embrace solitude not as isolation, but as sacred ground for healing and spiritual renewal. As we move towards July 10th, we're now going to have this full moon in the sign of Capricorn. So this full moon, knowing that you are ruled by the moon, the full moons, they always bring about endings, closures, culmination, and you have the sun in your first house of identity. And so this full moon is activating all of your one-on-one relationships, your partnerships, your contracts. It's opposing the sun in your first house of your identity, who you are. Now, the opportunities that can come from this is a significant turning point for you in professional, or it could also be personal relationships for you. This could bring a commitment or an ending or a moment of clarity around where do you stand with someone else. Remember that the seventh house is the house of other, and having the full moon there, it's illuminating some type of an ending, some type of closure. And so this will be an opportunity to see things that you could not see any other time. You can possibly clearly see what kind of partnership supports your growth and what no longer aligns with you. Remember that this is the house of open enemies and exes and clients. Maybe a client no longer needs your service. This lunation, it shines a light on how do you balance your self-care with your shared responsibilities. The challenges that can come from this lunation could be tension between your personal needs and the expectations of a partner or a client or a close friend. This is best friends, significant others. There can be this emotional weight within relationships that might demand confrontation or honesty or release. There can be old patterns of dependency or codependency or avoidance that could now be brought up and triggered. I'm encouraging you to honor what you need while staying present with the truth and looking at each one of these relationships independently. Avoid power struggles. Focus on setting these clear boundaries with mutual respect. Use this moon to truly reset how do you show up within partnerships, especially if you have been sacrificing too much of yourself. As we move towards July 18th, we're now going to talk about Mercury retrograde. So Mercury is the planet of communication and travel and technology. And Mercury, he's making his retrograde in your second house of finances. It's self-worth, personal cash, property, resources. So look to work with this. This will be a powerful time for you to reflect on your relationship with money or your values or your confidence, revisiting your budgeting strategies, reviewing your income streams, your income sources, or reconnecting with your talents and your skills that you have undervalued or underutilized. You might be called to reassess what truly brings you security, not just financially, but emotionally. Now, the challenge is because Mercury asks us to go back and revise, rethink, review, there can be delays with payments or financial miscommunications or second guessing your value. There can be impulsive spending or self-doubt that could literally cloud your judgment if you're not staying grounded. You might feel insecure about how your efforts are being recognized or rewarded. I'm encouraging you to avoid any large purchases or risky investments during this retrograde time period. Focus on reviewing, revising, and looking at your personal financial plans. Practice affirmations that have to do with your self-worth. You are not defined by your productivity or your paycheck. Reclaim a lost talent or a creative skill. Something that you once loved could now become a new source of value. Now, as we move forward to July 24th, you're now going to have this beautiful new moon. Now, remember, new moons are fresh starts, clean slates, and new beginnings. But you still have Mercury in retrograde here. Now, this new moon, it opposes Pluto. That means it's a hard aspect, and it is in a harmonious aspect with Neptune and Saturn in your career sector, in your responsibility house. And so this is opening up this brand new, fresh cycle to plant seeds around self-esteem, stability, your cash, your property, your skill set. This is part of a larger energetic tapestry for you. The sun opposing Pluto in your 8th house is the house of shared resources. It's the house of deep transformation. And trining with Saturn and Neptune, this is about your responsibilities, your reputation, your job, your career, your legacy. And so the opportunities that can come from this new moon, setting clear intentions around your finances, your money, your income, your self-worth. This is a chance for you to rewrite your personal abundance story. You might feel inspired to build something that's long-term, has long-term sustainability, financially or creatively, that aligns with your values and your beliefs. Saturn and Neptune here offers you this spiritual growth. And remember, Saturn has the rings around it, and it offers you the boundaries, the limitations, the goal in order to get to where you want to launch something that is aligned with your higher truth. Now, the challenge that can come from this is power dynamics, because that's what the opposition to Pluto is. It can be around money, yours, where it's invested with other people, or time, effort, or energy. This could be about intimacy or control issues that could arise, especially with shared resources or emotionally intense relationships or partnerships. There can be fear of loss or scarcity that could tempt you to hold on to and cling to what's familiar, even if it's limiting. You might struggle to trust your own inner compass in order to face the external pressure. I'm encouraging you to let go of the financial patterns that are rooted in fear or dependence on somebody else or something else. Anchor your self-worth in what you know to be true, not in what other people expect. Dream big, but this is about building slow. This new moon is about inspired foundations that can last over time. A mantra for you can be, I release what no longer serves my spirit. I trust in the wisdom within me, and I build a life that is rooted in self-worth and soulful truth. So Cancer, thank you so much for being here. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. To those of you who have subscribed and continue to support my channel, thank you so much, because it is your energy that fuels my journey. If you're looking for more of an in-depth understanding of the transits, visit willowgracemystic.com. So for my Leo friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I want to start with July 7th. You are going to have Uranus enter into an area of your life and begin this 7-year journey that has to do with friendships and community and networks, collaborations. What are your hopes, wishes, dreams, and your long-term goals? This is going to be a major shift in how you relate to the collective. What is your future vision? And so the opportunities that can come from this transit are you being called to connect with progressive communities, to join new social circles, or to become a voice for innovation and for change. You can have these breakthroughs that can come through networking or with social media or collaborative projects that shake up old systems. You might begin by attracting friends who are more aligned with your evolving values and your personal worldview. This is really going to be a great time for you to explore these unconventional dreams, these entrepreneurial ideas, and these causes that excite your mind and inspire your purpose. Now, the challenges that can come from this transit are some of your long-term standing friends or these affiliations. They may no longer fit with who you are, with who you're becoming, and they could fall away literally abruptly overnight. It's like here today, gone tomorrow. There can be sudden shifts within these group dynamics or alliances or support systems that kind of leave you questioning what is your role within these communal and collective spaces. Your future plans, they might feel unpredictable or unstable at times, especially if you are clinging to any outdated ambitions. Look to stay open to new social landscapes. even if they challenge your personal comfort zone. Detach from these group expectations that no longer serve your own authenticity. Allow your vision to the future to evolve. Embrace the goal that feels alive, even if these things don't feel like they're part of your own original plan. This is you saying, Uranus is here to shake up this area of your life and elevate you into new. Now, as we move to July 10th, we're now going to have this beautiful full moon, and it's going to be in the sign of Capricorn. Now, the sun is in your 12th house. This is the hidden house, your dreams, intuition, psychic ability. Full moons always bring about endings, closures, culminations. And so this one is highlighting your daily work, your mental, physical, spiritual health, well-being, your wellness, your routines, your acts of service. It is opposing your sun in your 12th house of needing rest, needing reflection, your personal unconscious. The opportunities that can come with this, because this is about endings and closures and culminations. There could be a work project that now reaches completion or culmination, or you could require like a reset of sorts, or you might gain insight into your habits, your health. This is like an aha moment. I now understand, or you find the right doctor, you find the right guide, or you find the right mentor, or something that has to do with your health. This could be with mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, or with how do you manage your time and your energy. This can be a really great time for you to let go of any self-sacrificing routines and align your day-to-day with these efforts for aligning with a deeper meaning, a deeper purpose. You might feel called to tend to your body and your well-being with more discipline and structure. This is about ending something, and this could be getting rid of a bad habit, and now is the time. The challenge comes from burnout or overwhelm, from overcommitting, especially if you have been neglecting yourself, rest, or spiritual self-care. There can be emotional tension around work-life balance, possibly triggered by these hidden pressures or of your sense of duty to show up and perform. There can be health concerns that reflect a deeper, more emotional or energetic imbalance that need to be addressed, like uncovering something that was deeper. I'm encouraging you to take an honest inventory of your daily habits and your personal workload. This is the balance. This is the house of the balance between home and career. And look at what is draining you versus what is sustaining you. Don't ignore the need for rest and your own inner replenishment. You are not a machine. This is going to be a time to bring order and intention to your health, your healing, and your acts of service. Now, as we move towards July 18th, we're going to have Mercury stationing retrograde in your first house of identity. This will be big for you because it'll be all about you. So Mercury retrograding here is about yourself, your appearance, your identity, your personal expression. It is like your mind, your body, your spirit. I always say that the first house is your business card. It's your website. This will be a very deeply personal transit that asks for introspection and a recalibration. The opportunities that come from this transit will be a time to reflect on how are you presenting yourself to the world, your communication style, your presence, your voice, everything about you, to reflect upon it. This is perfect for how do I rewrite my story? How do I revisit my personal branding? Remember, website, business card, or even if you don't have a business, if you had a business card or website, what would you put on it to brand yourself, to present to other people? This is rediscovering a version of yourself that possibly was left behind. You might reconnect with old desires or creative expressions that still hold relevance for you now. The challenge during this transit is self-doubt, miscommunications, or confusion around how you are being seen or perceived. There can be feelings of being misunderstood or frustrated if others just don't get the message or your intent or what you're trying to say or explain. There can be hiccups or miscommunication around plans or decisions or contracts that are related to your own personal ventures. I'm encouraging you during this transit to reframe, not react. Look at this as this retrograde time to refine how do you express your truth and how do you lead from authenticity. Avoid impulsive image changes or major launches. Like I'm encouraging you not to run off and get the face tattoo or whatever it is. Retrogrades are rethinking. And so this is you rethinking your image. Now is not a time to launch something major that has to do with your website or who you are. This is a time to rethink what it is until afterwards. Wait until Mercury stations direct. Reflect on what truly represents you now. Be patient with yourself during this transit. You are growing into a new version of your own identity. Now, as we move forward to the 24th, you're now going to have this beautiful new moon. New moons, fresh starts, clean slates, new beginnings. Again, in your first house of self. I love this new moon, but it has things, the other planets that are working with it. It opposes Pluto in your partnership sector. Remember, if the first house is you, the seventh house is you and everybody else, personal and professional. And it's in a harmonious aspect, which I love, with Neptune and Saturn. And so I love this. For a new moon here is a rebirth of who you are. This is like, I'm really thinking about things. I'm really working on myself, my image. This is your personal new year. This is a fresh cycle for how do you move through the world. These major aspects with Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto, they're activating this deeper transformation. With Pluto in your partnership sector and this commitment with Saturn and this spiritual expansion with Neptune, the opportunities that come from this transit are about you setting powerful intentions around your personal growth, creative leadership, expressing your own authentic self with boldness, like, rawr, let's come out. Transformative breakthroughs that can arise in your closest relationships and partnerships, helping you to show up more truthfully and more confidently. With Saturn and Neptune supporting you, you can commit to this inner healing. This is about shared trust, spiritual learning, something that fuels your growth with connection to taking a class or a workshop or legal matters or publishing. It's connecting to others. Now, the challenge that can come from this transit is Pluto that's opposing. The Pluto opposition can truly reveal power struggles or emotional entanglements within partnerships that can test your sense of self. You can feel pressure to perform or to meet other people's expectations rather than staying grounded within your truth. There's this fear of being seen or a fear of rejection. It can emerge as you step into this bolder role. I'm encouraging you not to shrink yourself, to don't do this just to keep the peace with everybody else. You're Leo. Let your light shine in ways that uplift both you and those people that are around you. Look to set boundaries where power feels unbalanced, and use this lunation to truly lead with heart-centered confidence and create from a space of deep integrity. Leo, a mantra for you can be, I reclaim my voice, radiate my truth, and I align with my future that honors my fullest self. So Leo, thank you so much for being here. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. To those of you who have subscribed and continue to support my channel, thank you so much, because it is your energy that fuels my journey. If you're looking for more of an in-depth understanding of the transits, visit willowgracemystic.com. So for my Virgo friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I want to start with July 7th, 2025, because you are going to have Uranus, and it begins this major 7-year cycle at the top of your chart. This is huge for you. This has to do with career, your public image, your reputation, your long-standing ambitions. This is really going to be this defining moment or this defining period of your professional evolution and growth. The opportunities that can come from this transit are you entering into this breakthrough period with your career or with how you want to be known, your legacy, your reputation. So expect these new opportunities to innovate, to step into new leadership roles, to shift into more of an authentic professional path for yourself. There can be new forms of technology and communication or digital platforms that could become central to your public work. If you have felt stuck or unseen, Uranus is here and it's going to help you step into this more aligned, like a future forward version of success for you. Now, the challenges, this comes from unexpected career changes that truly feel destabilizing, like gone here today, gone tomorrow, especially if you are attached to traditional roles or wanting to have these long-term plans. We don't plan when it comes to Uranus. Uranus is it's shock and surprise, and it's the maverick of the zodiac. It boldly goes and blazes through. And so there can be sudden shifts in your public reputation, or there can be these employer dynamics or authority figures that could really push you outside of your comfort zone. You might feel restless or uncertain or misaligned if you're working only for security and not for like a fulfillment, a soul fulfillment. I'm encouraging you to embrace flexibility and let go of rigid expectations about what is your life path or what is the legacy or the reputation that you want to have. This is about innovation and authenticity. These are going to be your allies right now. Think creatively. Look to take bold steps towards what feels meaningful for you. Trust that changes within your professional life, they are opening up doors to greater freedom and impact. Now, as we move forward, I want to look at July 10th. On July 10th, you're going to have this beautiful full moon. Full moons, they always bring about endings, closures, culminations, and this one is in the sign of Capricorn. It's endings or closures or culminations that have to do with your house of creativity, children, something that you've given birth to, your own personal joy. It opposes the sun in your 11th house of friendships or community or your long-term dreams and goals. This lunation, it brings about opportunities of a creative project or a romantic connection or a passion pursuit that reaches a turning point. It reaches an ending or a culmination. And this is the house of what do I want to give birth to, literally or figuratively. And so this is a powerful time for you to reflect on what truly brings you joy and whether you have made enough space for it in your life. You might feel called to release an old identity around performance or perfectionism or like seeking external approval for things that you do, needing to do it for you, not for what everybody else expects of you. The challenge comes from balancing your own personal expression within the group dynamics or these external obligations that can stir this inner conflict with you. There can be feelings of not enough or being judged for your own creativity or your own romantic vulnerability that can arise. Remember, this is the house of the inner child or your own children. There can be pressures to meet these collective expectations that can suppress your own individual, your own personal passions at this time. So look to celebrate your creative achievements, even if they're quiet ones. Let go of people-pleasing tendencies. Make room for joy, authentic joy. Ask yourself, am I allowing space for play and passion and self-expression? Or am I just checking the boxes. I want to then turn to July 18th. You're then going to have this Mercury, your chart ruler, station retrograde. Now, Mercury, it rolls over your identity and your career sector in an area of your life that is stationing retrograde with your subconscious, healing, solitude, spiritual integration. Mercury being your ruling planet, this is going to be a time for you to do a deep, inner review of your dreams, your intuition, your psychic ability. This is about reflection and rest and a spiritual intake of sorts that now takes center stage. You are being invited to slow down, to retreat, to reconnect with your own personal inner world. Past patterns, beliefs, your own emotional wounds, they can resurface to be able to be released and integrated. Remember, the 12th house is the house of the broken record of what people have told us and what we believe to be true, or what's passed down from generation to generation. This is a powerful time for dream work, for journaling, for therapy, and for clearing your own energetic space. The challenge can come from mental fog, or feeling drained, or more introverted than usual. There can be secrets or subconscious fears or suppressed emotions that come up or resurface. There can be communications missteps that can arise from unspoken expectations or misunderstood feelings. I'm encouraging you to honor your need for solitude, for stillness, for rest, and for quiet processing. This is a time for you to sit in the stillness, to not push yourself to explain or to define everything. Trust what is unfolding within. It's literally quieting the outside world to tune into your own inner world. Use this time to rewrite the limiting narratives and to reconnect with your spiritual self. Now, as we move towards the 24th, you're now going to have this beautiful new moon here. Now, new moons, fresh starts, clean slates, new beginnings. This one is really close to that Mercury in retrograde. It's going to cover a lot of the same degrees. And so this moon is going to oppose Pluto, which is a hard aspect, and it will be in a harmonious aspect with Neptune and Saturn. And so having this potent new moon in your 12th house, it's ushering in this new cycle of rest and release and this spiritual rebirth. This is about inner healing for you. This is part of a larger energetic wave that includes what is going on with the sun in Pluto, from your house of health, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional health and well-being, and the supportive trine to Saturn and Neptune. It's all working together. Now, the opportunities that can come from this transit is you initiating a new relationship with your own inner world, with your dreams, your intuition, your psychic ability, your healing practices, your own subconscious patterns, like the Akashic records or astral travel, astral projection. This is you letting go of work stress, of chronic over responsibility or perfectionism that's draining your energy. You trusting the supportive trines that come from Neptune and Saturn. Remember, Saturn has the rings around it. It's about creating something that's sustainable. I always say that it's the boundaries of creating something that can be sustainable over a longer period of time. And so this supportive trine, it's suggesting that there's a partner or intimacy or who you are connected with on a personal level, who you are invested with, that supports you during this internal rest. The challenge that can come from this is your own inner battles that can surface between your need for rest and your own external obligations or control issues in your own work or your wellness habits. At this time, you can feel the pressure to just keep going, to stay productive. You've got Pluto here opposing, which is saying your soul is asking for stillness, and Pluto is saying, I got this, I can handle this. There can be control patterns. Remember, Pluto is magnetic. It pulls in and it repels. And so there can be control patterns or these deep fears around surrender that can challenge your ability to just let go, let flow, and to trust the process. I'm encouraging you to prioritize your spiritual, emotional health and well-being over surface level productivity during this time period and moving forward. This is a time to create sacred space for you to dream, to journal, to meditate, and to just simply pause and breathe. This is tuning into what does your soul need. Use this lunation to set these intentions for quiet transformation and trust that it's all happening beneath the surface. Virgo, a mantra for you can be, I honor my inner rhythms. I release what drains me, and I trust my deepest growth begins in stillness. So Virgo, thank you so much for being here. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. To those of you who have subscribed and continue to support my channel, thank you so much, because it is your energy that fuels my journey. If you're looking for more of an in-depth understanding of the transits, visit willowgracemystic.com. So for my Libra friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I want to start with July 7th. So you are going to have Uranus now start a 7-year journey through an area of your life that has to do with travel and higher education and publishing and legal matters, your belief systems, philosophy. It is about expanding your mind, your body, your spirit to more. And so this marks a really big shift in how you seek meaning or truth or growth and expansion. The opportunities of this transit is you now entering a time of intellectual and spiritual expansion. Uranus in this house, it encourages you to break free from outdated beliefs and embrace new ways of thinking. You might be drawn to alternative education or global connections with other people that are farther away, or technologies that can expand your worldview. This has to do with publishing or media or online teaching or learning that can bring about these unexpected breakthroughs, these aha moments for you. Now, the challenges come from your belief systems, and what once felt secure and stable for you can now be limiting or irrelevant. There can be travel disruptions or unpredictability in your educational pursuits, like taking a class or a workshop, that can test your patience. You might feel at odds with traditional institutions or these long-held ideologies. I'm encouraging you to stay curious and be open to unlearning. Trust the process of re-education and of expansion of your mind. Give yourself permission to explore unconventional paths, even if others don't understand them yet. Your growth is going to come from thinking outside the box. So this is a time for you to embrace it. Now, as we move towards July 10th, we're looking at now having this full moon in the sign of Capricorn. The sun is in your career sector, at the top of your chart, responsibilities, job, reputation, legacy, and it is illuminating endings, closures, culminations of topics that have to do with the bottom of your chart, your home, your family, your emotional foundation. This could have to do with literally your home or the people that are in your home, or it's your private life. And so it opposes the sun. And so the opportunities that can come from this transit is a moment of clarity or a culmination around home, real estate, family dynamics. And so this could be like selling a home or somebody moving out of the home. You might realize what needs to shift to feel like emotionally safe or rooted or comfortable or connected to your own inner world. This is going to be a time for you to balance your public responsibilities with your own private nourishment here. The challenges that can come from this transit are it's tension between your personal life, what is at the bottom, and your professional life, or your legacy, or your reputation, or your responsibilities. This can be personal responsibilities and professional responsibilities. And so there can be family pressure or old emotional patterns that can resurface during this time. You could feel pulled between needing a home and how do I show up in the world. It's how do I balance these two areas of my life? Now, I'm encouraging you to create this space of emotional self-care. Tend to your own inner landscape. Reflect on the structure of your life. Is your home supporting your ambition, or is it weighing you down? This full moon is illuminating what you need to truly feel at home within your life and what you're now willing to let go and release. As we look to July 18th, we're now going to have Mercury stationing retrograde. Now, Mercury being the planet of communication, travel, technology, it is now going to be stationing retrograde in an area of your life that has to do with your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your friendships, your networks, your goals, your collective connections with other people. Now, the opportunities that can come from this is you reflecting on your social life, your group affiliations, your vision for how you hold your future, what you want for your future. This is an area of your life of who you collaborate or connect with in order to move forward. And you might reconnect with old friends, you might revise a community project, or you might rethink your long-term aspirations. This is like a time to revise these goals, these hopes, these dreams. This is a great time for you to really reassess who supports your evolution and who is draining your energy. I sometimes use this transit for going through all of my connections through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. This is not just in person. This is also electronic connections, like your group affiliations, where you want to volunteer. And so this is you rethinking all of those areas of your life and revising them. The challenge comes from misunderstandings within these group settings or these online spaces, or confusion around collaborations, social invitations, or you wanting to have goal clarity, or feeling uncertain about where do you belong and who can you trust. Like feeling like you fit in. Now, I'm encouraging you to slow down your pace and within your social media connections, your group efforts, and launching community-oriented ideas. This is a time to pull back and to reflect. Where are you spending your energy within those groups and networks? Use this time to revise your personal mission and to reconnect with your deeper why. Journal your dreams and your goals, and clarity is going to come through reflection. This is not about urgency. Now, as we move to July 24th, we're now going to have this beautiful new moon. Now, new moons, fresh starts, clean slates, new beginnings. So things that you have been Mercury retrograding through, you're now going to have a time to plant some seeds for this. Planting these seeds, Pluto opposes it. This is a hard aspect. And Neptune and Saturn are in a happy aspect in order to support you on this. And so these planetary influences are initiating this new cycle around friendships and networks and your future goals. It's like you've now thinned the herd, and now you've organized and realigned. And so it coincides with these major aspects. And it's about self-expression and love and partners and best friends and significance and like others. And the seventh house brings in topics, not just personal, but also professional. Like think about clients. And so the opportunities, this is a powerful new vision that you now have taking shape. This is your invitation to dream boldly about what do you want for your future. You might feel inspired to join new communities, new networks, launch a collaborative project, or become more visible in causes that you care about. With supportive aspects of Saturn and Neptune, this new dream can be both grounded and inspiring at the same time, and it's collaborating and wanting to do it with other people. The challenge comes from Pluto. Pluto is you wanting to, feeling the need to confront these creative blocks or these old stories around needing to perform or to be accepted within the group. There can be romantic or ego, these conflicts that challenge your ability to collaborate or to share the spotlight. There can be fear of rejection or vulnerability because Pluto brings up all of these negative aspects. It's literally opposing what you're starting and saying, let's look at every angle before we start this. It could be you hesitating to step into a more visible role. And so I'm encouraging you to lead with your heart. Show up authentically within your community and your social circles, your friendship groups, your star family. Don't shrink yourself to fit in, but also remain open to a connection without needing constant validation. Align your goals with your values and surround yourself with those people who uplift and they challenge you in these meaningful ways. So Libra, a mantra for you can be, I expand beyond old beliefs. I connect with aligned communities and I create future that is rooted in purpose and authenticity. So Libra, thank you so much for being here. I'd love to hear thoughts about this in the comments below. To those of you who have subscribed and continue to support my channel, thank you so much because it is your energy that fuels my journey. If you're looking for more of an in-depth understanding of the transits, visit willowgracemystic.com. So for my Scorpio friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I want to start off with July 7th, 2025, because Uranus is going to be moving. This is like a very powerful transit for you, moving into your 8th house of intimacy, shared resources, trust, transformation, inheritance, deep psychological depth. This is going to be this profound period of a personal metamorphosis for you. Now, the opportunities that can come from this transit are you stepping into this new phase of emotional and energetic liberation. Like Uranus comes in as it's shock and surprise, like a maverick that just says, boom, it's time to change. There can be sudden shifts within shared finances or investments or these people that you have deep personal bonds with. This can be family members or it can be, think of alimony and child support with exes, but it can also be connections to business partners or significant others. That this is about clearing the space for greater authenticity. This transit is really supporting you to have these breakthroughs in trauma and within personal healing and sexuality and power dynamics and how you share your energy and your personal resources with others. Remember that this is the area of your life about intimacy and taboo topics, and it's time to transform and heal these things. Now, the challenges can be you having to face emotional intensity, these unexpected shifts in relationships that involve trust or intimacy or sex or finances. There can be power struggles or control issues that come up, or fear of vulnerability that can trigger, like just show up during this time and it's like, I didn't see that coming. There can be these periods of feeling emotionally unmoored as old patterns are now breaking down. I'm encouraging you to let go of what no longer serves your emotional and your energetic integrity. Build financial independence and build spiritual resilience. Look to embrace the unknown. Uranus is awakening your deeper courage to transform and rise stronger. This is going to be felt intimately and deeply in order to transform you from the inside out. The next transit that I want to discuss is July 10th. This is going to be a full moon. Remember that full moons, they're endings, they're closures, they're culminations. They bring about something, they're opportunities for us to look at and end topics that were started 6 months ago. So this full moon is activating your house of communication, your thought patterns, your siblings, neighbors, cousins, travel. It's your local environment, and it opposes the sun in your ninth house of your belief systems and your teachings and your own personal worldview. Now, the opportunities that can come from this is this realization, this message, this idea, or this breakthrough that can arise in how do you speak? How do you listen? How do you share your truth? Because the third house is how do I take in information and how do I share it with other people? You might complete a writing project, or you might gain clarity within a conversation with somebody, or you can release these outdated mental habits. There could be, this is the house of also technology and updating your technology. This is also a good time to clear up any misunderstandings that you have with siblings or neighbors that or those people that you connect with on like your day-to-day, like with work, or like going to the dog park or going to the grocery store. It's people that you see on a day-to-day basis, or with taking a class or a workshop. Now, the challenges come from mental tension between your broader vision and your own immediate day-to-day life. There can be conflicts that arise between what you believe and what you're actually saying or doing. There can be information overload. There can be emotional overwhelm within your environment that requires you to pause and to ground. I'm encouraging you during this time to look to stay present. There can be small moments and local connections. They have their value too. And so this is you connecting with your own local community. And there can be endings and closures and culminations of a class or a workshop or something that you are doing. It could be a neighbor moving away. Be mindful of your words. This is a really potent time for you to speak with clarity and not reactivity. Let go of rigid thinking and let your thoughts reflect your ever evolving truth. The next date I want to talk about is July 18th. We're now going to have Mercury, the planet of communication, travel, technology. It is now going to station retrograde. It's at the top of your chart, which represents your career, your legacy, your reputation, your public roles. It's your responsibilities. It's literally at the top of your chart. And so Mercury retrograde is going to be going back over these topics, these themes. This can be a period of professional reflection or a reevaluation. I'm looking at this as an opportunity or a chance for you to review your goals, review your career direction, or your public image. You might return to a former role, or restructure a project, or refine your leadership voice. If you have been pushing forward without clarity, this retrograde, it offers you a space to realign your long-term ambitions. This is a really great time for you to update your resume, revisit these proposals, or rethink how do you want to be seen in the world. It will have everything to do with what you are doing and how you're navigating it and how people see you doing this. Now, the challenges that come from this is miscommunications with employers, employees, clients, or authority figures. Remember, it's the top of your chart. It's you being seen and heard by other people. There can be delays or reversals within your career plans or public initiatives. You can feel like you have imposter syndrome, or there can be these old doubts about your success that can now resurface. I'm encouraging you to avoid launching any major public ventures during this time until the retrograde ends, because there can be hiccups and glitches with it. Prepare for them and look to refine behind the scenes. Reflect on whether your own external image is aligned with your internal truth. Focus on your legacy that you're building, not just in the title that you're holding. And then as we look at July 24th, you're going to notice that we're now going to have a new moon. New moons are fresh starts, clean slates, new beginnings, these new opportunities. It is here with Mercury stationing retrograde. So we know that the topic is still with your career, your legacy, your reputation. It's your responsibilities. This new moon will oppose Pluto, something that has to do with you at home and security, but it will be in a harmonious aspect with Saturn and Neptune in your house of your day-to-day habits and nurturing your mind, body, spirit. And so all of this planetary influence is a fresh beginning with career or success or your public standing. It's like, okay, I have it. I know where I want to go forward. This is Pluto opposing with home and family. And it's saying, I need to focus on my own creativity, my service, my routine, and how can I better align my home with my career. Look to this as a time to set clear, confident intentions about your professional path, your leadership goals, or your public reputation. You might be ready to step into greater visibility or redefine what does success look like for you. With Saturn and Neptune's support, your creative gifts and your daily efforts can now be used to build something that's meaningful and sustainable. Saturn has the rings around it, so it's I look at it as the boundaries, the limitations, and Neptune wants to dissolve that, and Saturn wants to build something that's sustainable over a longer period of time. Now, the challenge that comes from this, remember, you have Mercury that's retrograde, and we have Pluto's opposition. Pluto can stir up this conflict between home and work, between family, responsibilities, or these emotional roots, traditions that could challenge your external ambitions. There could be old patterns around control or fear of failure or parental expectations that now come up. You maybe feel the pressure to prove yourself. Don't let that override your authentic goals. Look at this new moon as a time to reclaim your power by leading from your values, not from your wounds. Let your creativity and your consistency, let it fuel your rise, not perfectionism or external pressure. A grounded spiritual or creative practice, it can help anchor you in to your goals within your purpose, not your ego. So Scorpio, a mantra for you can be, I rise with integrity. I transform through truth, and I shape my future from a place of inner power and clarity. So Scorpio, thank you so much for being here. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. To those of you who have subscribed and continue to support my channel, thank you so much, because it is your energy that fuels my journey. If you're looking for more of an in-depth understanding of the transits, visit willowgracemystic.com. So for my Sagittarius friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I want to first start with July 7th, 2025, because you now have Uranus moving into an area of your chart that has to do with you and others. If the first house is about you, the seventh house is committed relationships, partnership. This can be personal, this can be professional. This is about contracts and negotiation. This is going to begin a 7-year cycle of radical shifts in how you connect with others on a one-on-one basis. The opportunities that can come from this is you entering into a period of liberation within your relationships. This can bring this exciting, unconventional partnerships, breathing new life into your existing ones, or both. This is like shock, surprise, and awe. And I didn't know about this about you. This is a connection to other people. Uranus here has you asking, how do you redefine what commitment and what connection means to you? If you are single, you might be drawn to people who are outside your usual type, or you might come into your life in unexpected ways. Remember, Uranus is the maverick. It's shock, it's surprise, and it's like meeting somebody through somebody else or meeting someone in an unexpected place. The challenges that can come from this transit are sudden breakups. This can be with a client no longer needing your service, or a partner that you no longer, a business or significant other that you just no longer align with. Or there can be changes within agreements or unpredictable dynamics in existing partnerships that just showed up. There can be a desire for independence that can clash with your need for intimacy. You might realize that outdated relationship patterns, they just no longer work, and they have to evolve somehow. I'm encouraging you to embrace authenticity and to give others room to be fully themselves. Don't fear the change. Uranus is here to help you find the freedom within the commitment, not from it. Let your partnerships be collaborative experiments in growth, not fixed roles or labels. As we move to July 10th, we're now going to have a full moon in the sign of Capricorn. Now, the sun is in the sign of Cancer, and it opposes the full moon in the sign of Capricorn. Remember that full moons, they always bring about closures and endings and culminations. And this has to do with personal money, self-worth, cash, property, talents, and skill sets. This opposes the sun in Cancer, your 8th house of shared finances, shared resources, intimacy, deep transformation. The opportunities that can come from this transit are bringing clarity or closure around your financial situation or an income stream or on your personal possessions. It's also a powerful time for you to reclaim your own self-worth by releasing these dependencies on others. And this can be financial or emotional dependencies. You can also look to feel more grounded in your values or realize it's time to redefine what does security mean to you, because the 2nd house is what do you value, who do you value, and how do you feel secure. The challenge comes from this is financial pressure or tension within shared resources or inheritances or in emotional entanglements. You could face a situation where you have to choose between holding on to something and letting it go. This could be a tangible or a financial. There can be insecurity or scarcity thinking or mindset that surfaces. And so look to this to not let fear make your decisions. Use this time period as a moment to realign your sense of value of what truly matters, not just what's profitable or expected. Set boundaries around what you give and what you receive, energetically and materially. What you own does not define your worth. Build your foundation on integrity and self-trust. So then I want to talk about July 18th. You're now going to have Mercury station retrograde. Remember that Mercury rules over your partnership sector and your career sector. So whenever it stations retrograde, it adds a flavor or a theme to those areas also. Mercury is retrograde in the sign of Leo. So this is about higher learning and travel and publishing and spirituality, your worldview. This transit is now inviting you to slow down, to pause, to reassess your belief system, your long-term direction, your goals. What do you want to do? The opportunities that can come from this is you reflecting on your own personal philosophy and your own spiritual beliefs and educational goals. You might reconnect It's a reword. Remember, rethink, revise, redo, reconnect with a past teacher, or resume an old course of study, or revise your travel plans or a publishing plan. This is an excellent time for anything that has to do with editing or written work or journaling or revising your own spiritual practices. The challenges come from travel delays, academic confusion, legal misunderstandings. Remember, revise, rethink, review, readjust, realign. You might feel temporarily lost or uncertain about your path or your purpose. There can be these conflicting beliefs within or around you that can lead to you overthinking or withdrawing, like pulling back. I'm encouraging you to give yourself permission to ask the bigger questions without demanding immediate answers. Revisit books and lessons or experiences that once lit the fire inside of you. There is wisdom that's going to come from revisiting the past for you. Be patient with any long-term goals or plans right now. Allow ideas to slowly ripen before making any decisions. Knowing all of this, we move to July 24th. You're now going to have this beautiful new moon. This new moon is still coming when Mercury is retrograde in the same house. This new moon is going to oppose Pluto. That's a difficult aspect, but it's also going to be in a harmonious aspect with Saturn and Neptune. What this means, this new moon is a fresh chapter, clean slate, new beginning of truth and growth and spiritual purpose with a class, a workshop. The student becomes a teacher. It activates this powerful opposition with Pluto and your communication and your mindset. And it forms this supportive trine with Saturn and Neptune with what do you want to give birth to? The house of creativity. So the opportunities that can come from this is a beautiful time for you to commit to a new vision, whether it's a course of study, a spiritual path, a book idea, a travel plan, something that lights your fire that you can share or collaborate with others. Remember that this is the house of visas and passports. This new moon, you can now root your aspirations in deeper emotional wisdom because you have Saturn and Neptune here. Saturn has the rings around it, so it says, I want to build something that's sustainable. I always think of that as the boundaries. And Neptune is trying to move you to the higher belief system. And so it's inspired creativity. The universe is supporting you to have these bold declarations of faith in yourself and your path. Where do you want to go and what do you want to do? The challenges that can come from this is Pluto. Pluto in your third house is stirring up negative thinking. You know, that broken record of self-talk, self-doubt, mental resistance, especially if other people challenge your belief system or your thoughts or your ideas. There can be fear of being misunderstood or rejected within your views that could you could pause and then cause you to hold back. You might feel pressure to have all the answers or to explain your vision perfectly to everyone. I'm encouraging you to speak your truth, even if you're nervous. Let this be a new beginning that's led by inspiration. It's not about control. Create something that is meaningful, that reflects your heart, not just your mind. It's time to expand. Make the plans to travel, to study, to expand your mind, your body, your spirit. Sagittarius, a mantra for you can be, I explore the unknown with open eyes. Trust the wisdom of my inner fire and grow with purpose in the truth that I am here to live. So Sagittarius, thank you so much for being here. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. To those of you who have subscribed and continue to support my channel, thank you so much because it is your energy that fuels my journey. If you're looking for more of an in-depth understanding of the transits, visit willowgracemystic.com. So my Capricorn friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising, the first date that I want to bring to your attention is July 7th, 2025. You are going to have Uranus enter into an area of your life, making a 7-year journey that has to do with health and work, your daily routines, your service to others, your daily responsibilities. This signals a significant shift in how do you manage your time, your wellness, your role in your everyday life. This is the house of mental, physical, spiritual health, well-being, alternative healthcare, and healing practices. The opportunities that can come from this transit is breakthroughs and innovation in your approach to work or health or new technology or alternative healing modalities or remote or freelance work that can open up exciting new doors for you. You are being invited to free yourself from outdated routines or toxic job patterns that limit your vitality and or your creativity. This can really be an ideal time for you to embrace holistic wellness or energy healing or non-traditional service roles to other people. The challenges that come from this is daily life can now feel unstable or unpredictable at first. Uranus is here to shake you up. This is about shifting of schedules or changing job dynamics or erratic health patterns that just now get brought up. You might resist surrendering control of routines that feel safe, even though they're draining your energy. There could be burnout that could sneak in if you ignore the need for rest and for flexibility. I'm encouraging you to embrace the flexibility without losing the structure. Find flow within your productivity. Let your body guide you. Your nervous system is the compass. Listen to it when it needs care. Be open to transforming your work life into something that's more aligned with freedom and authenticity. As we move towards July 10th, we're now going to have this beautiful full moon in the sign of Capricorn. Now, this is your sign. It's in your first house of identity. The sun is in your partnership sector, and so this is about personal power. The first house is your business card, your website. It's who you are, your identity, your personal power, your self-expression. It's opposing the sun in Cancer in the house of relationships. It's the house of the other. And so the opportunities that can come with this are a powerful turning point for you in your sense of self. How you show up in the world. How do you advocate for yourself? How do you embody your own purpose? You might feel called to release a role, release expectations, or an image that just no longer fits who you are becoming. There can be this personal decision or an appearance change for you, or a boundary shift that could mark this moment of empowerment. Remember that full moons, they bring a culmination or an ending. I'm no longer going to look like this. I'm no longer going to be this. I'm no longer going to show up like this. This is empowering for you. The challenge comes from the tension that arises that's building if you've minimized your own voice to keep the peace with other people. The partnership, the 7th house is the house of other, business, professional, and it's personal. And so you might feel pulled between independence and connection, especially if people, they rely on you or the old version of you. I'm encouraging you to not be afraid to evolve, even if it means redefining how others relate to you or see you. Take responsibility for your own personal power and communicate it with clarity. Stand in your truth, but leave space for compassion and connection as you're growing. This is about you standing in your divinity. All right, so let's take a look at the 18th. On July 18th, we're now going to have Mercury stationing retrograde. Now, Mercury is the planet of communication and travel and technology, and it's in the sign of Leo. Mercury in your 8th house is the house of where you are intimately connected to other people. It's the house of shared resources, emotional bonds, trust, transformation. It's the unseen. It's taboo topics. It's sex. It is the house where we are like resources that are investments like debt and taxes. So this is going to be a deeply introspective transit for you. The opportunities that can come from this, like I look at everything and say, how do I rework this Mercury retrograde? Because Mercury rules over your 6th house of your day-to-day habits, and Mercury rules over your 9th house of travel and communication, with collaboration with cross-cultural experiences like publishing and legal matters. Having Mercury retrograde in your 8th house, it will be a time for you to revisit matters around intimacy, joint finances, debt, and also I look at it as energetic boundaries. You might reconnect with an old lover or a therapist or a collaborator, or rework agreements that require mutual trust. I look at this is the house of, remember, if it's debt or alimony or child support, or somebody's passed away and it's money that comes to you, it's you working through or reworking those agreements. This is an excellent time for shadow work, or for journaling, or for therapy, or spiritual insight. It's a time for you to go within and want to understand, what do I need to work on? The challenges come from financial confusion, because this is the house where you are financially and energetically connected and tied up with other people. There can be miscommunication within close relationships, or emotional mistrust that could surface. You might uncover secrets or hidden motivations that could be yours or other people. Like, through therapy, say, I didn't know that, or I didn't realize that about myself. There can be these inner fears or past emotional wounds that rise, or that demand your attention and healing. Sometimes, like, understanding, where did that trauma come from? Where has it been passed down? Or where did I first experience it? And how do I heal from it? How do I recover from it? I'm encouraging you to avoid signing contracts that involved anything that has to do with shared resources until Mercury goes direct. Practice emotional honesty with yourself before you address any issues with other people. This is you tapping into you first. Treat this time as a sacred inner excavation. What you release now is clearing space for true intimacy and power later. Now, as we look at July 24th, I want you to notice that there's going to be a new moon in the same house. So we know that Mercury is having you do all this deep work. New moons are fresh starts, clean slates, and new beginnings. This one comes and it opposes Pluto in your 2nd house of your money, your cash, your property, your skill set, your talents, and what you want and need and desire in order to feel secure. It's in a harmonious aspect with Saturn and Neptune with your home front. So we know that this has to do with all of these topics. This new moon is initiating a transformative new cycle for you that involves a rebirth in the realms of intimacy, shared energy, empowerment. This could have to do with deep psychological depth. The sun being forming this opposition to Pluto in your 2nd house. We know that this has to do with your finances, your self-worth. And we know that this will come up with what is mine, what is yours, and how do we work this out. Because we have Saturn and Neptune, Saturn has the rings around it, and it wants to have, it's the boundaries, it's the limitations, and Neptune wants to dissolve and come to a higher belief within something, spirituality. Look to set these intentions around releasing control and deepening your own emotional trust, looking to transform limiting beliefs around money, power, and your own vulnerability. Saturn and Neptune, they offer the stability of your mindset and your family life. They're at the bottom of your chart. It's your home life, what you need in order to feel secure, the foundation. It's supporting deeper healing and emotional security for you. This is really going to be a powerful time for you to be starting the healing process of possibly some deep wounds, investing in transformation, not just of your financial investments, your money, but of your heart, your mind, your body, your soul, or building strong emotional bonds with other people. The challenges that can come from this is the opposition to Pluto. Pluto stirs up fear about control or loss or lack or self-worth, especially in financial and emotional partnerships or connections with others. You might feel this tension between what you have and what you're being asked to share with other people. There can be resistance in letting go that could block your transformation. I'm encouraging you to let go, let flow of the power struggles. Trust that you don't have to have control of everything in order to be safe. Speak openly about your needs and your boundaries, especially with those that you're emotionally or you're financially tied to or connected with. Step into this new chapter of empowerment from a place of truth and not fear. Capricorn, a mantra for you can be, I honor my growth, I release what weighs me down, and claim my power with clarity, courage, and emotional truth. So Capricorn, thank you so much for being here. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. To those of you who have subscribed and continue to support my channel, thank you so much, because it is your energy that fuels my journey. If you're looking for more of an in-depth understanding of the transits, visit willowgracemystic.com. So for my Aquarius friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I want to start with July 7th, 2025, because you are going to have Uranus move into a 7-year transit through your 5th house of creativity, romance, pleasure, children, self-expression, joy. The 7th house is where I want to create or give birth to, literally or figuratively. This could be children or this could be projects. This could be art, music, beauty, and love. This marks the beginning of a creative and liberating transformation of how you experience fun, joy, and passion. The opportunities that can come from this transit are a sudden burst of creative energy that can emerge, pushing you to express yourself in these unexpected or unconventional ways. Love becomes electric. There can be new types of romantic connections or a need for more freedom from existing ones that now takes center stage. You might discover new talents or creative mediums that you had never thought about, or fresh approaches to parenting or working with children or your own inner child. The challenges that can come from this transit are romantic unpredictability, or changing of desires, or abrupt emotional shifts that could create turbulence. There can be creative blocks that can arise if you try to control the process, or if you look to seek perfection. Children or younger people in your life, they can go through these sudden transitions that affect your role within their lives. I'm encouraging you to let go, let flow of rigid expectations within love and creativity. Let your inspiration lead, even if it's non-traditional. Play with curiosity. No pressure. The universe is inviting you to rediscover joy in new and surprising ways. Take creative or romantic risks that align with authenticity. It's not about approval. As we move to the next date that I want to bring to your attention is July 10th. You're going to have a full moon in the sign of Capricorn. This is your 12th house. Full moons always bring about endings, culminations, closures, and this is the house of spirituality and subconscious patterns and hidden healing and endings. Now the sun is in your 6th house of your day-to-day living, mental, physical, spiritual health, and well-being. And so the opportunities that can come from this is something that's behind the scenes is now coming to light, because we see things during the day, but when there's a full moon, it illuminates things that we didn't see before. This is about secrets or endings. Remember, the 12th house is the house of karma and broken records. And so there can be an emotional realization or a spiritual truth that comes to light, or the need to release something that is toxic. This can really be a powerful culmination of you doing the inner work, a healing process, or the quiet ending of a long-standing cycle that's either been passed down from generation to generation, or something that's been brought in from another life into this lifetime. And it's like karma. Break the chain, move on. This transit is you being called to rest, to retreat, to tend your soul more deeply than usual. This is illuminating the area of your life that nobody sees, but it's when you sit in solitude, whether it's in yoga or meditation or dream work. The challenges that come from this is emotional exhaustion, or hidden stress that everybody cannot see, or this burnout could finally reach its peak because the sun is in your 6th house. It's the balance between home and career, and you might feel this push and pull between overworking your 6th house and the need for spiritual withdrawal in order to take care of your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul, of the moon in the 12th house. Your subconscious fears or your avoidance patterns could now bubble up and demand your attention. This is needing to have a healthy balance for mind, body, and spirit, for work and for home. I'm encouraging you to listen to your dreams, listen to your intuition, listen to your body, tune into it. Allow this full moon to be a time for a soul release, to grieve, to clear, to forgive, to let go. Look to create a space to reset spiritually before jumping into the next chapter of what you are beginning. And that I now want to talk about July 18th. We're going to now have Mercury stationing retrograde. Now, Mercury is the planet of communication and travel, technology, and it rules over your 8th house of shared assets and your 5th house of fun, joy, pleasure, children. But it's going to be retrograde in your partnership sector. Now, Mercury stationing retrograde here on all of your one-on-one relationships, contracts, collaborations. This transit's really going to call for an introspection and a reevaluation within those people that you partner with or collaborate with or work with. The opportunities can come from revisiting or clarifying relationship dynamics. Past partnerships, they can resurface for healing or closure, because this is also the house of open enemies and exes. It's the house of clients. And so you might renegotiate terms or repair communication or realign with what you truly want within love and business. This is an excellent time for you to reflect on how do you show up within partnerships, and what kind of a connection are you seeking in each one of those relationship dynamics. Each one is unique. The challenges come from misunderstandings, delays, confusion with contracts, negotiations, or these intimate conversations. There can be old patterns of people-pleasing or projection, or an imbalance that could now resurface for a reevaluation, like a second look at what do you own in this. If you are with a business partner or significant other, there can be this temporary cooling off period or this miscommunication. I'm encouraging you to practice active listening. Clarify rather than just assume what's going on. Avoid rushing into any commitments or any legal agreements. Wait until Mercury stations direct for this. Use this time to strengthen your relationship foundations through mutual understanding and communication and an honest review. And then as we move forward to July 24th, you're going to see a continuing theme of this. You're now going to have a new moon. Remember that new moons, they bring about fresh start, clean slate, new beginning. This new moon, it opposes Pluto in your first house of your identity. That's a hard aspect, but it's in a harmonious aspect with Saturn and Neptune in your third house of communication. Saturn and Neptune are giving you the boost that you need in order to clarify some things. So this new moon, it opens up a new chapter, a fresh start, clean slate, new beginning. And it's opposing Pluto in your first house of who you are. So there's some power struggle, some power dynamics. Look to set your intentions for these new relationship dynamics or begin these partnerships that are grounded with equal respect and a soul alignment. With the supportive trine to Saturn and Neptune, remember Saturn has the rings around it. So I always think about it as the fence around the yard, the boundaries. The supportive trine is building this lasting communication within love or business alliances or these creative collaborations that are rooted with a shared purpose. You might also gain clarity with your worth within these connections and with others, with what you bring to the table and what you will no longer want to compromise on. Now, the challenge comes from Pluto. Pluto is what opposes you. It's in your first house of identity, so it's identity struggles. Do you lose yourself within relationships, or do you hold too much control? There can be power dynamics, there can be jealousy, there can be insecurity that emerges. It's there to show you these things so you can set your new moon intentions accordingly. If you are evolving in a partnership with someone, it's about who or what is resisting the change and how do we grow, change, and evolve together. This can be personally and professionally. You might feel torn between asserting your own independence and opening your heart to a new connection for fear of loss or getting hurt. I'm encouraging you to be brave, to be fully yourself within your relationships and your partnerships. Invite others to also do the same. Tell them you're going to accept them, flaws and all. Release old fears of rejection and powerlessness. This new moon is about standing and aligning with your truth and still choosing love. Let these healthy communication styles that are shared values with you be your guide in your connections with other people. Aquarius, a mantra for you can be, I trust in connection that honors my truth. Speak with clarity and open my heart to partnerships that empower and inspire me. So Aquarius, thank you so much for being here. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. To those of you who have subscribed and continue to support my channel, thank you so much because it is your energy that fuels my journey. If you're looking for more of an in-depth understanding of the transits, visit willowgracemystic.com. So for my Pisces friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I first want to draw your attention to July 7th, 2025, and Uranus entering into your foundation of your life. This is a revolutionary 7-year transit through your home, your family, emotional foundations, your ancestry. This is what you build your life upon. It's the bottom of your chart. And so this transit can really bring sudden changes to your living situation or how you root yourself emotionally or with home or family or with traditions. Now, the opportunities that can come from this transit, this is you being drawn to possibly relocate or renovate or completely redefine what is your concept of home? Like mind blown, non-traditional. There can be breakthroughs that occur in healing familial family patterns or shifting generational cycles or liberating yourself from inherited expectations. This is about breaking the chains and creating what you need for you, not what other people expect for you. This can also be a time of awakening through ancestry or intuitive gifts or non-traditional living arrangements for you. The challenge comes from home and family life that can now be unpredictable, especially if you are clinging to stability or traditional. You might feel emotionally ungrounded at times, or your internal world as it's restructuring itself. Remember, Uranus is chaos, it's freedom, it's liberation, and it is the maverick that goes where no one else has gone to. And so this can be disruptions to your family dynamics that challenge your sense of safety and security. And I'm encouraging you to redefine home as a state of being, not just a place or a structure. Give yourself permission to create these emotional roots that truly reflect who you are, not just tradition. Stay open to these unexpected blessings in the form of new emotional landscapes or new living situations. All right, so then on July 10th, you're now going to have a full moon. So we move forward with the theme of culminations, endings, and closures. So the sun is in your 5th house that has to do with creativity and joy and romance and self-expression. And it's literally illuminating or lighting up endings that have to do with your house of community and dreams and hopes and wishes and goals and long-term collaborations. And so remember that full moons, they bring an end to something that has run its course. And so there can be a culmination or a shift that occurs within a friendship. So somebody moves, or a community group, meaning it's no longer needed, or it's time, like if you're doing the work with other workmates and the project ends, or a long-term goal, you might see results from a collaboration, or you might feel called to leave a group that you just no longer feel aligned to. Not all endings are bad. People, places, and things are in our life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. This lunation is here to help you clarify your vision for your future, what inspires you versus what drains you. This is a powerful moment for you to reconcile your own personal creativity with the work that you do with others collectively. The challenges come from the tension between doing what you love and feeling responsibility to others. You might feel invisible within group settings or unsure how your gifts contribute to the greater purpose or the greater goal, or are they appreciated? There can be a long-standing goal that maybe you need to release or you need to rework it, that it's just not attainable. I'm encouraging you to let go of trying to fit in at the expense of your own individuality. Clarify which communities or networks contribute to your dreams and which ones keep you stuck in a place that's not for your best and highest good. Use this moon to recommit to the long-term goals that you feel joyful about, that are aligned with your own authentic voice. And then as we look towards July 18th, we're now going to have Mercury. Mercury's going to station retrograde, and Mercury, it rolls over your home sector, and Mercury rolls over your partner sector. So we know that those themes are also going to add flavor to this Mercury retrograde. Mercury is in your 6th house of your daily routines, your health, your wellness, your service to others, your work habits. It's also the house of alternative and holistic health and healing. And so Mercury is here to have you take a deep reassessment of things that are around you and how you manage your energy and your responsibilities. The opportunities that can come from this is you reflecting on your own health routines, your work schedule, patterns of service, and over-functioning. There can be a past work opportunity that now swings back around. Remember, this is rethink, revise, redo, realign. Maybe you revisit a project or you reconnect with a former colleague. This is a really great time for you to explore how do you care for yourself while being of service to other people. Now, the challenge comes from work delays because that's what Mercury's here to do. It slows you down in order for you to look at things. There can be miscommunication with coworkers or scheduling conflicts or confusion that now comes up. There can be health concerns that resurface that require a new perspective. It comes back up to show you this is really what was the cause, or this is really what you need to work on. You might feel frustrated in your usual sense of order and organization, and control begins to slip away because Mercury wants everything to be in an orderly fashion, does not want disruption. But when it stations retrograde, this is where I need to realign and reformat my daily life in order to use this time to adjust your daily flow. Mercury retrograde it brings opportunities to slow down so you can look at, do your systems that you are working with, whether it be for your health or for your work, do they still serve your physical and emotional health? Remember that this is the house of your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, psychological health and well-being. Rest is productive, allowing pause for reflection and self-maintenance. This is the house of self-care, reflecting on where you need to give yourself those things. Avoid overcommitting or starting any new regimens until after this retrograde ends, because this is about looking at what is working and what is not, and realigning and recommitting. All right, so then let's take a look at July 24th. You're going to notice that we're now having this new moon in the same area of your life. So you have your Mercury still retrograde, and now you're going to have a new moon, a time to plant seeds, fresh start, clean slate, new beginning. Now, this sun opposes Pluto in your 12th house, the hidden house, dreams, intuition, psychic ability, but also fears. Now, it's also in a harmonious aspect with Saturn and Neptune in your second house of self-worth, cash, property, skill set, talents. And so this new moon is launching this new cycle of planting the seed that has to do with your wellness, organization, purposeful work for you. Now, the opposition to Pluto is unconscious patterns. It's like getting over, I need to get out of my own way in order to do this. Having Saturn and Neptune here, it's bringing support to sustainable change that aligns with your identity and your values. The opportunities that come from this lunation is you are now being asked to create a daily life that reflects who you really are, not who you used to be. This is a really great time for you to initiate new work habits. This is starting to look at what projects do I want to launch, whether it be healing or being of service to others, volunteer, or refining how do you manage your time, your health. With Saturn and Neptune supporting, it's you wanting to manifest tangible systems that support your dreams. Saturn has the rings around it, so it's the fence around the yard that wants to create something that's sustainable over a longer period of time. The challenges come from Pluto. The opposition to Pluto, it stirs fears of failure. It's invisible stress that people don't see. It's burnout. It's if you have been pushing yourself so hard behind the scenes, this is where self-care needs to take a front seat. You might face internal resistance about challenging yourself with how do you change your work, or how do you change your acts of service? How can you better serve yourself and serve others? This brings up themes if you are working out of guilt or perfectionism. If these themes are involved here, this is unconscious fears that block your motivation, or they zap your energy if they're not addressed. This new moon being opposed to Pluto says, I need to address these issues before I plant these seeds to have this growth come over time. Look to set your intentions that they are sustainable in your routines for healing practices that support all of you, your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul. Let go of guilt-driven service or martyr patterns. Purpose and your own well-being, these things can coexist together. You wanting to be of service to others and you wanting to nurture and care for yourself, these things can happen, but self-care has to happen first. It's self-preservation, not selfish. Make room for rest. Look for spiritual cleansing and conscious boundaries around your daily life. Pisces, a mantra for you can be, I organize my life in devotion to my well-being. I release these unseen burdens and I root in the daily rhythm, in self-worth and my soul alignment. So Pisces, thank you so much for being here. I'd love to hear thoughts about this in the comments below. To those of you who have subscribed and continue to support my channel, thank you so much, because it is your energy that fuels my journey. If you're looking for more of an in-depth understanding of the transits, visit willowgracemystic.com.